What's up guys, I'm back with another Black Ops 4 video, and in today's video we're going to be talking about the new combat record system that Treyarch finally added into Black Ops 4. So this is a long time coming. Here we are all the way in April of 2019, and Black Ops 4 launched in October of 2018. So it's been, what, like 5+ months or whatever since the game's come out. And we are finally able to get some combat records for Black Ops 4. So basically every other Call of Duty game has had combat records in since, the game released, and this has been a big thing for the communities that we've not had them up until now. But Treyarch isn't out of the woods yet because they also screwed up a lot with the community here, because the combat record system isn't in the game. It's in the Call of Duty mobile app. So if you want to actually check your stats and stuff, I mean, sure, you can totally check your stats through the in-game method, through the barracks, and you can, I mean, it gives you all your basic stats and stuff. It gives you your time played. It gives you how many wins, losses, win-loss ratio, EKAs, EKA to death ratio, deaths, kills, headshot percentage, kill streaks, score, all that different stuff. And it's a pretty good indicator of all your stats, but there's still some people out there who would like to see more detailed stats, and stats like, how have I done over the past couple games? How have I done over the past week? What's my, most used weapon, stuff like that. How many kills have I gotten with this weapon? What's my KD ratio with this specific weapon? Stuff like that. That's the kind of more detailed stats that people want to look into. And Treyarch finally put it out with the combat record system, but it's in that Call of Duty mobile app. So in this video today, we're going to be taking a look at the mobile app as well, and then also discussing just this whole move in general and kind of how bizarre it is. So we're here in the Call of Duty app. We can go ahead and take a look at my stats. It's kind of interesting, although it is showing my Xbox account. So this is a little bit weird. Here we go, PlayStation. Can even look at our PlayStation one as well. That's interesting. Okay. So I guess if we want to look between them, we have to specifically switch. So that's interesting. But if we just click on the home, it'll take us here. It'll tell us our weekly stats. I have a 2.76 EK to death ratio. Shows me my losses, what friends I have online, and then just, I guess, shows some news stuff down here at the bottom. And okay, now how do we go into, all right, view stats right there. Okay, and up here at the top, you can select World War II or Black Ops 4. We can select multiplayer, blackout, or zombies. We'll stick with multiplayer for now. It shows my ranks right there, so Master Prestige level 170. My recent matches shows my EKA to death ratio there. Shows my average. Like this, we can look at our matches. Okay, so that's cool. You can actually look at specific matches, and it'll tell you when you've played each match and stuff like that. You can see I have that 8 KD right there. Oh yeah, dude. Because your boy's a champ, but that's cool. Then we have our score per minute history. Nice. Weekly stats. View more. Okay, cool. My win-loss is kind of suffering, but that's kind of interesting. Whoa, look at that XP. That's got to be a glitch. There's no way I've earned, what is that, 360 billion? I don't know. That's weird, dude, but I got a headshot percentage, deaths, all that other stuff. Okay, so that's kind of cool. As we keep coming down, got lifetime stats. We can even look, do view more on that. Cool, melee kills, all that different stuff. Nice. Barracks, ICR. Ooh, okay, let's look at our weapons. So, okay, so you can look at all the individual weapons. You can see all the KD ratio and stuff. I guess this sorts it by the actual KD ratio, not the EKA. Because, yeah, right there. Wait. Oh, no, it does go after the EKA. It shows both EKA and KD. Okay, that's interesting. Cool. So, I mean, I guess if you do want to look at all the different weapons that you have here, you can actually look at all of them. You can find all those. So that's cool. So, I mean, it's just kind of a standard combat record system. Kind of reminds me of the Black Ops 3 or Black Ops 2 ones. You can see what weapons you've used the most. And you can also check, your KD or whatever with them, as well as your accuracy. But something interesting up here at the top, you can go over to Black Market. And then it shows Black Market stuff, so it tells me exactly what tier I'm on, 223, and how many days or whatever left of this Operation Grand Heist. And then you can see what tiers or what you're going to be unlocking with that stuff. So view potential items from reserves. I'm clicking that, but it's not showing me anything. Damon Mark II. Okay, John Doe, Jane Doe. There's that new Cayenne. That's dope. Okay. That's not really very helpful, though, because, I mean, it just says I'm on tier 96 to 100, even though I'm tier 223, so whatever. I can show my friends comparison, and kind of show how I compare against friends. Lathan's played more than me. Nice. Yeah, okay. And we can even take a look at, let's go into zombies, because it tracks all 3 modes, which is a cool little thing. So you can see everybody in here, they're like average round and stuff. Highest round reach since launch, me with 100. Nice. Anybody else past that? Doesn't look like it. Nope, I'm clear up at the top. Wait. Oh yeah, I'm right up there at the very top. Nice. That shows the time played and all that stuff. Cool. Alright, what about our combat record? Can we go into our combat record for zombies? Yep, shows my rank, my kill history, weekly stats, lifetime stats, and my highest round. Okay. Weekly stats. Interesting. Okay, that's cool. Okay, and then I guess let's take a look at Blackout. It shows my kills, my stats, like my ranks. 3.94 KD, 4.0 KD, 3.31. Black market, friend comparison. Here we go. No, that's still on zombies. So I guess you have to manually change them between these tabs. It's kind of odd. I guess that's pretty much everything. I mean, it's basically like the full combat record that we expected to have, you know, in a Call of Duty game. Shows you all your different stats, your KD ratios, how much time played, favorite weapons, that sort of thing. Even, you know, like your weekly stats in your last like 5 games and stuff. And even other things like the black market progress. Like, I think that's kind of cool. But the big controversy behind all this stems from the fact that it's not actually in the game yet. That if you want to look at your combat records, you have to launch this app on your phone in order to actually look at them. And Treyarch even says, they say, quote, providing combat record on mobile brings the stats that players want to the platform where they'll get the most use out of them without taking time away from playing the game. So you can check your stats quickly and easily on your phone or tablet between matches. So they say that they don't want to take you away from playing the game, but they make you pull out your phone, load up the app, and then scroll through all these different things while you're, you know, between games. Whereas it'd be just as easy to, when you're in between games, press start and go into your combat record and look at it in the game without having to look down at your phone, pull out your phone, you know, load up whatever, and do it that way. So I don't know exactly what Treyarch's whole meaning is. Like, I get that, yeah, it's cool to have it on mobile, so that way, like, say you're not home, you know, you're just, like, out at, maybe you're at school or at work or something like that, and you're like, I want to see my stats for Black Ops 4. And you can load them up. I think it's a cool feature, and I do appreciate that, but I think they missed the whole mark because they should have had it in the game first and had it come to mobile second. And I feel like the whole purpose of mobile is just to give you kind of like an extra way to be able to like interact with the game while you're not playing the game. I don't think there's a lot of people out here who, if they do finally put out combat records into the full game, they're still going to pull out their phone and check it on their phone. Most people are going to do it through the game. I liked Black Ops 2's Call of Duty app thing, which I don't know why they keep just putting out a new app instead of like updating it, but that's neither here nor there. But in that app, you could actually change your classes through the app, and it would reflect it in the game. So, say you were like, you know, at work or something, you're like, oh man, I really want to get this weapon gold. Let me set up a class real quick through the app. And then you get home, you turn on your Xbox or PS3 or whatever, and boom, your class is already in there, in-game, waiting for you. You can go ahead and play it. That way, I mean, that was a perfect system where it definitely did not take you out of the game. Whereas instead of like changing classes, you know, between games, you can literally change them before you even start playing. Or say, you know, you're done for the night, you're laying in bed, going to sleep, well, you can pull out the app, you can change more classes, check your stats and stuff like that. That's what it should be. It shouldn't be our go-to method for checking our stats. It shouldn't be to pull out our phone, log into the app, and then select all this different stuff. Treyarch even commented about how they mentioned that combat record would be coming shortly after launch, and that it'd be coming, you know, the following week. So like on like October 19th, around then is when we were actually going to get combat record. But they say that it was just miscommunication on their part, and that's on them. So I don't quite understand this. Like, how do you go and you tell the community, hey, this brand new feature is actually going to be available next week, and then totally forget about it and not talk about it for 5 months later, and then tell the community, hey, yeah, no, my bad, that's on us. Like, what happened there? Like, obviously, if you were tweeting out that, yeah, combat record's going to be available next week, it was probably pretty close to finished, or finished already. And this kind of ties in with my next point. I still personally believe that this wasn't necessarily on the fault of Treyarch, that Treyarch had the combat records ready to go, but the thing about combat records is that they're kind of also tied with leaderboards, and this whole thing is like, we haven't had combat records and we haven't had leaderboards, And I still personally believe the reason we haven't had that is because of the low player count in this game. I don't think that Activision or Treyarch want to really showcase how many players are playing this game until it reaches kind of substantial numbers. The whole thing with like player counts in video games is kind of a double-edged sword, because it's nice to be able to see how many other people are playing the game, but then again, if there's not a lot of people playing the game, then you're probably less inclined to play the game, which also contributes to the problem of less people playing the game. So if you log into a game and let's say you only see there's 4,000 people playing the game, you're probably not very inclined to play the game, because you're probably going to think, oh, I'm probably not going to be able to find any matches. So they're not going to get more players, which is just going to contribute to the low player count. Whereas if you hide it, nobody knows how many players are playing the game, so they're going to probably try and play the game regardless. So this isn't like trying to make an excuse as to why they're hiding the leaderboard system. I've made suggestions in the past as to how they can actually implement the leaderboard system. And just a quick note, it's kind of curious that they finally put out the combat record system, but they still haven't put out leaderboards. It's like, how hard is it to put out leaderboards? Treyarch even, kind of commented with this whole thing about the combat records, about leaderboards. They kind of say, oh yeah, we do have leaderboards in the game. All you have to do is just, select what players you want to compare your stats with. And that's basically all they said about it. They just said, in the game at launch, we expanded the functionality of leaderboards to introduce customization options that allowed players to add and remove other players to their leaderboards via the player list button in the leaderboards menu, in addition to instantly tracking progress against friends. And they say that they took this new approach to make leaderboard stats more meaningful to players, because they want to know how they stack up against their peers. But Treyarch once again missed the whole point of leaderboards. It's that people, they definitely want to know where they stack up against their friends, but they also want to know how they stack up against everybody. They want to know how they stack up against players who aren't their friends. They want to see how far they are in the world. That's the kind of whole point of this thing, is people want to try and strive for that #1 spot. People want to try and be #1 in, career for a Call of Duty game. People want to be #1 for kills or for score or for deaths or even weird things like grenade kills or any other thing like that. Like in Black Ops 3 Zombies, I was in like the top 2,000 for like explosive kills. And that was something I was kind of like, whoa, that's kind of cool. So I actually kind of started to go for more explosive kills in Black Ops 3 Zombies because I wanted to rank up on that leaderboard and get to a higher level. Well, we don't have that because now it's just compared against your friends. And if you want to, you can compare against your recent players, but where's the fun in that? Who wants to, go into this every single time that they play a game and go into the player list and then add in all of their recent players just so they can see how they stack up against a bunch of randoms? No, people want to see how they stack up against the millions of other players who have played this game. So I've said this before in a previous combat records and leaderboards video, but I think that the reason why Treyarch hasn't implemented a full leaderboard system, and the reason that they're implementing this like half-baked one where you can only compare stats against your friends and people you manually select to put into this, that you have to have played with them recently. You can't just search up somebody's gamer tag and add them in here. You have to have played with them recently or have them on your friends list. I think that the reason they're doing this is just so that way they don't have to have a full leaderboard system, and that way they don't have to showcase how many people have played the game. So they say that they're doing this so that way they give you more meaningful stats to players. How is it more meaningful to me to check how far I am against my friends and recent players than I am against my friends, recent players, global, weekly, and even like daily? Like these same things were in previous Call of Duty games. In Black Ops 2, you could check the lobby leaderboard and see how you stacked up against the lobby, but you could also go into the full-blown leaderboard system and you could compare against your friends, which I think was the default, was comparing against your friends. You could also change it so it changes to global, so that way you can see where you are in comparison to everybody who's played the game. And you can also adjust things like you can see the leaderboards based on all time, by like monthly, and also by weekly. And it was cool to see that, oh yeah, you might be like 2,000th overall in the global, but you might actually be #1 on the weekly because you have been the player who's, played the most or done the best in that week. So it just kind of seems to me that they're doing this to try and hide the low player count while also giving us less features. But they're saying that, oh, we're doing this to make it so it's easier and give you more meaningful stats. But you're trying to give us more meaningful stats by taking away options from us. And like I said, I'm pretty positive that the reason they're doing this is just so that way they can hide how many people have played the game. We haven't had like an official like player count number in a Call of Duty game since like Ghosts. I don't even think Advanced Warfare had a player count thing. They just showed you how many players were actually playing each mode, but we don't even have that in Black Ops 4. We don't even have like, hey, this mode has X percentage of players. So like Team Deathmatch has like 50% of the players. They even took away that from us. And so we didn't have like the full like 300,000 people are currently online. We don't have how many people are playing in each playlist. We don't even have the percentage of people playing in each playlist. And now we don't even have a leaderboard to see how many people have played. It's kind of sad to see how far this has all come and how far they have fallen. They're trying to hide how many people are truly playing this game, because the truth about the leaderboard system is that even though they took out the actual player count that said X amount of players are online currently, even though they took that out, you could still check how many people have played a game through the leaderboard system. Sure, it wouldn't give you a complete, this is how many people are online right now, but it could tell you how many people have played the game total, how many people have played the game that month, and how many people have played the game that week. So that week is a pretty good estimate of how many people are playing online. And you could also see how many people have played, like say that month. So obviously it's going to be a lot lower. This is the way every Call of Duty game works, is that, you know, the game is really high in November and December, and then it kind of starts to drop month after month until we reach the next November when the next Call of Duty game comes out, and then it gets a big bump again. There's almost never been any time when the player count has started out high, has gone down, and then come back up high. The only case of that was when Black Ops 3 and Modern Warfare Remastered became free-to-play on PlayStation 4. That's the only time where there wasn't still the steady decline of players, where it actually increased. I was kind of hopeful that eventually Treyarch would release a leaderboard system for Black Ops 4 once they got the player count up, and I thought that the best way that they could do this is by releasing Blackout to become free-to-play. They already had a free trial back in January where millions of players downloaded Black Ops 4 Blackout, and they could try and Blackout, and they could play it, and could also contribute towards this leaderboard system, because that's millions of more players that have technically played your game, which would help boost up the total number of players who have played your game. And even this month, in the month of April, the whole month of April, Blackout is free on Xbox, PlayStation, and PC. And I thought, oh yeah, this is going to be, you know, a great move. That way they can try and get, one, more people into the game to buy the full game for them to, you know, increase profits, but also more people into the game to increase the player count numbers, so that way they can say to shareholders, yeah, we had 40 million people play Black Ops 4, you know, Call of Duty's still going strong. And when that might not actually translate to direct sales and revenue, it's still a great thing to tell to your shareholders, because they don't want to hear that this product that they're investing money into is actually dying. Treyarch and Activision don't seem to be doing that. They don't seem to be wanting to implement an official leaderboard system, or even in this case, an actual combat record system in the game. They want to keep it in the app instead of in the game, which, like I said, is just such a weird move, and they completely missed the mark with that. And then they even commented on leaderboards, and it's not like they're saying, yeah, okay, we implemented combat records on mobile, and we're going to be implementing leaderboards soon. And I, you know, would have figured that soon would mean once the player count gets up a bit, but all they said was, oh yeah, leaderboards are here, and they've been in since launch, and we're doing this so that way we can give you more meaningful stats. So I don't know what to think. I think that this is just the end of this. This is just the end of the combat record system. This is Treyarch's one and done thing. They're not actually ever going to implement it in the game, and I think that leaderboards are just done. We're not going to have an official leaderboard system. So I think that's it. That's Treyarch's final thing. They're like, okay, here you go. Here's combat records, but it's on mobile. And also, we had leaderboards since launch, even though it's this half-baked one, and it has half the features that any other Call of Duty game has had. This is it. And honestly, it's kind of disappointing. So I don't know exactly how to feel right now about Black Ops 4 and about Treyarch's attitude towards this game. Let me know your guys' thoughts on this in the comments down below. I'm kind of disappointed about all this. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on this too. That was a long video. It kind of turned into a rant there towards the end. But it's just kind of frustrating, Treyarch's whole attitude about Black Ops 4 and their kind of communication with the community. So let me know your thoughts on all this in the comments down below. Give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already. I'll see you in the next video.